just for the night, babe. I need you right here with me for the night. Girl, just for the night, babe. I need you right here with me for the night. Girl, just for the night, babe. I need you right here with me for the night. Girl, just for the night, babe.
What is up, Savage Gang? It's your boy D-MUGGA, and I am back for another video. And today is a good day because something that I've worked at for 4 years is finally happening. Yes, I am going to be appearing on WURD Radio. If you guys don't know what station that is, for everyone in the PA area, that is 96.1 FM and 900 AM. I'm going to be appearing there tonight from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and I'm so excited. Like, this is something that I've been wanting for years, and now it's finally happening. So right now, I'm getting ready for work because I got to leave in a couple hours to go and pick up Naeem, and then we got to go to work, and then we're probably going to leave there around 7 o'clock. So we can get down to the radio station because we gotta be there by like 8, by like 7:40. So what's gonna happen right now is I'm gonna get ready for work. I'm gonna see you guys later on when we are on our way to the station. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Show me now.
In half a mile, turn left.
Yo, what's up, you guys? We are currently on our way to the radio station right now. I got my man Naeem G recording this, yo, and we about to get this interview on the rap show. And I'm so thankful. Like, God is good. Best believe that. So we gonna be there in a minute, and we'll see y'all there.
Standing in the street alone. Her head was down, face locked onto the phone. And I wished I'd had a number so I could be color unknown. And then I tell her to look into my eyes and never let it go.
What would you say? 4 years now.
You're 4 years into the game. 4 years into the game.
Yeah.
Now you're committed. This is a young man that we have in the studio. We bring by these young musicians. You told me you're just 19 years old?
Oh, 20.
You're 20 years old. I'm sorry, 20 years old. And I appreciate that because, like, look, a lot of young people out here doing really good stuff in the music industry. I want folks to be able to know about that as well. So tell me about, take me from the beginning, right? Like, how does D-MUGGA become D-MUGGA? Because I'm sure that isn't your government.
Yeah. Yeah, well, D-MUGGA started when I was about like 14 years old, actually. You know, like one summer my dad said, you know, you're not going to be sitting around the house all summer. You got to get out, you got to do something. I was like, nah, Dad, I just want to chill this summer. Mm-hmm. So he dragged me to this music camp. Okay. And that's where I learned how to play like the guitar and the bass, and I was like, oh man, I kind of like this music stuff because we had to do a recital at the end, and then I performed on stage, and I was like, yeah, I'm kind of digging this.
Yeah.
So
once you get that juice up there,
yeah,
now
exactly,
you're like, yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
Yeah. So like later on, he got me an Apple MacBook Pro, And I asked for that one specifically because that one had GarageBand.
Yeah, yeah.
So after a while, I just started messing with GarageBand, making beats and putting them on SoundCloud. Then later on, you know, when I was 16, that's when I started rapping. Cause
I heard that line at the end of the song about since 16.
Yeah, exactly.
It took me 16 years to notice this.
Yup, so when I was 16, that's when I started rapping and started doing freestyles and ciphers in like classrooms at my school. And my homeboy actually to my left was actually there with me through the beginning. So that's my man forever. But like ever since then, I've been trying to build myself to be this big artist that's gonna make it out of Philly one day. And now 4 years later, I'm here on WURD.
Absolutely, this is in many ways the opening step. Now, when you become big and famous, the thing you got to do is you can't forget about us. You gotta come back.
Yeah,
come back on the show and be like, yo, it all started right here, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
D-MUGGA is our musician of the week. You've been doing this for quite some time, and I find that interesting too. Eric, I know what we got to do now to become big and famous in the music industry. I know where it starts at least. We got to get ourselves a MacBook Pro. The last couple of weeks we've been talking about this do-it-yourself approach to music nowadays. Look, like, you don't have to go to music, so you don't have to attend Juilliard to understand how to make some really good music nowadays. Sometimes those creative tools are available to us right at our fingertips.
Oh yeah.
What was that like? I mean, so you said your dad initially dragged you out, but once you kind of got into the process of like figuring out what GarageBand was all about and the loops and the figuring things out, putting things in different tracks. I mean, what was that experience like discovering that like you had the power in your hands?
You know, it was really crazy because like when I was like making different beats and I like kept going forward and then started doing remixes, like my dad would tell me like, you know, you're self-taught. Like no one taught you how to do any of this. Like that's a gift that God has given you, and now I really understand that this really is a gift, and I really want to show the world what I can do.
I think that's important too, because you're not, when you teach yourself, you're learning from it. Like that's where you're getting your inspiration from is yourself.
Exactly.
You don't have a lot of pull and influence from other people or voices around you. So then you started with the instrumentation. You started writing lyrics and things like that. What did you write about? What inspired you? What pushed you?
You know, in the beginning, I just, you know, was just writing rhymes. I wasn't really trying to tell no story and stuff like that. But like around the time, I think it was like 2015. Me and my little sister went to go see this movie called Straight Outta Compton.
Yes.
And we were listening to the songs, and I was like, yo, this sounds like really different from today, because like, and then I had to remember this was back in like the 80s, when like the 80s and 90s when hip hop was at its peak. So I was like, how come hip hop doesn't sound like this now? And I was like, you know,
going on in the background.
Yeah, man, because I was like, you know, I like this hip hop. I like when people actually say something. So I was like, man, this is what I want to do. I want to say something with my music.
Word. So that storytelling aspect is something that, and we didn't have this conversation before, the storytelling aspect in hip hop especially, I would say in music, but especially in hip hop, which is a storytelling type of medium, has seemingly kind of been lost. And we'll get into some of that stuff in just a moment. But telling stories, that's what I wrote down here. You know, telling stories, when you listen to Slick Rick, right? Like when you hear him talking about you know, like this whole experience that he had with somebody, or Ice Cube in his day and how it went. You know, you're not just listening to the song to groove along with the song, but you're in the song at that point. You and the artist have now sort of connected in a way, because they're trying to send a message to you and you're receiving that message.
Exactly.
That's extremely inspirational. But not everyone seems to want to take that approach. What do you write when you're writing to a point like that, to a story, to an experience? What exactly do you write about? Like how do you gather that what do you gather rather for that inspiration?
I mean,
what stories do you tell, I should say, too?
Alright, well, the stories that I tell mainly are sometimes about me, my experiences, stuff I see in the street and in the media, and like sometimes I talk about racism too. But like my inspiration when it came to that was just like, I want to be somebody that's unique, because you call us music artists, but if we're not unique, then we're not artists. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, like I want to be unique, because that's what a real music artist is. Yeah.
Somebody that brings something, I think, a lot different to the table. Your most recent project, the 3 EP, I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah, that's right.
The 3 EP released last Friday. You can get this right now on iTunes, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, all that. Is on cassette tape yet? We're working on that. We'll get to that. But you can get that on any streaming service that you want right now. 3 EP by D-MUGGA. Right. Make sure you check that out. Now, this recent project, what was different about it? Is this your how many albums or LPs or EPs or projects has this been for you released?
Well, actually, that's why I called it the 3 because this is my third.
This is your third one?
This is my like third official one that I actually pushed out. It's like mass media, and and also another reason why I called it 3 was because, as you may have heard in the song My Testimony, this is my third career choice.
Ah.
So that's why.
After the first 2?
Yeah.
Of?
Being an NBA player and being a computer engineer.
All right. So you went through the whole gauntlet.
Yeah, exactly.
of experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And came with it. So there's a lot of symbolism with the number 3 in this too. So what's different about this most recent project that differs from your first 2?
Well, my first 2, they were basically just like what I call rough copies.
Okay.
Because my first thing that I did was called the Forever EP, which I put on iTunes, but I couldn't afford to keep it up there, so I had to take it down.
Okay.
But that was when I was like first started out rapping, and I was really excited about that one because I typed my name in on Google for some apparent reason, and I found myself on this website called artofthemix.org. And I was like, wait, what is this? So I clicked on it, and I realized that my EP was at number 9 on the new release charts, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's on the charts. This is my first put out. I was like, wow.
Right, yeah.
So, and then later on, I had to take it off because I couldn't afford to keep it up. So I made a mixtape called The Rise Volume 1 to Come Up, which is on my SoundCloud. And that's just basically me talking about me from 2015 to 2017. Everything about like myself, where I came from, how I got here, racism, all that stuff. And that one didn't really get where I wanted it to be. So I tried it again with the 3 EP. And this was basically me talking about me from 1997 to 2017. You know,
a 10-year gap. That's a 10-year window.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, like I was talking about me from since a baby, like how I got here. Like I talked about like how I like, you know, I'm not shy to this. I love to party. Like I like partying. I won't lie. Even though I make like songs with conscious lyrics, I love to party.
Everyone loves to party.
Exactly.
Everyone loves to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't no shame in that.
Exactly. So that's just basically how that happened.
Wow, we're in the studio right now with our musician of the week. His name is D-MUGGA. You can check out his music right now on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Google Play, all of that stuff. Right now, we're going to get to a quick break. On the other side, I do want to ask you about a particularly popular, shall we say, hip-hop trend and what you think about how the lyricism has turned in that department. We'll also hear on our way out, this song is called Crack, right?
Yes, Crack Freestyle.
Crack Freestyle. So we'll listen to that on the way out, and we'll be back with more of our Musician of the Week, D-MUGGA, on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. All right. Right here on 96.1 FM, 900 on your AM dials. WURDRadio.com, and check us out on social media at The Lounge Word. That's at The Lounge Word. You just heard Midnight Thoughts from our Musician of the Week. His name is D-MUGGA to my left. Welcome back to the show, D-MUGGA.
Hey, what's up? Feeling good.
Good. I heard we get treated to a freestyle here in just a moment, but I got a couple more questions for you before we get there.
All right.
D-MUGGA, you tell me now that as a lyricist, this is, storytelling is a big part of what you do.
Yeah,
and I got mad respect for you for that, because when I look out into this sphere of hip-hop that we have now, not just rap, I think it's a little bit too simplistic to say that. When we look out into hip-hop and what we have now, the hip-hop sound that we have, I think that is dominating the industry is certainly a lot different than some of the folks that you were referencing before. In the 90s, the NWAs, like I said, the Slick Ricks, the folks that can tell stories. There's another trend that I think is interesting when I take a look at some of these songs that we find most popular, the Lil Uzi Verts, the 21 Savages, the Post Malones of the world, that are making a very melodically intriguing sort of sound. Like it's almost like addicting to the sound. But the content is so different. It's so different right now.
Yeah, for real.
Just talk about that a little bit. Is there is there something wrong with that whenever the art that is based so much around what words are said and what stories are told? Is there something wrong in your vision and view as a hip-hop artist with an industry that seems to focus a lot less on the lyricism and more so the sound of the music itself?
Yeah, I mean, like, when I usually hear, like, stuff like, 21 Savage, Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi, I usually be, because, see, me as a lyricist, I listen to the words that they say, and when I hear that they're not really saying anything, I usually turn it off.
Okay.
But, like, it
ruins the song for you?
Yeah, it sort of ruins the song for me, because I like to hear, like, about the artist. Like, if they're not saying nothing about them, then I don't really want to hear nothing.
Yeah.
But see, if I'm at a party, though, then I don't mind listening
you do like to party.
Yeah, exactly. I do like to party. If you hear my EP, I have a song with Just for the Night. That's my party track. But yeah, I do like to party, and like when I hear these songs, I don't think that like it's bad, but I just feel like it's being misrepresented as the new age of hip hop.
Okay.
Because I feel like this whole thing is like a whole different genre. Like, 'cause it doesn't even sound like hip hop no more.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I see what people call these. People call like trap music.
Yeah.
Like, and what I elaborate on. I say it's not just trap music. It's techno rap music because it's got techno. It's got like a whole lot of EDMs mixed with rap. This rap is where EDM meets hip hop.
Yeah.
You get trap music.
Yeah, it's interesting you just mentioned the EDM part or aspect of it too, because an article that I was reading was talking about how medicated these songs are. We're talking about pills and perks and popping, all types of stuff. Promethazine. There's all types of P words that are bad. Just now. Stay away from the P's, gentlemen. But yeah, a lot of this stuff, and that is a part of some parts of EDM culture. It's like it's a very party heavy culture. Like there's a lot of, and yes, Eric, our resident EDM expert, can attest to that. And the combination of those cultures is become very interesting because you have a lot of hip hop artists that used to be talking about like being hard in the street, doing all this hard stuff. Exactly. Now we're talking about codeine and Percocets and drifting into this oblivion of non-awareness, as I call it, this unconsciousness almost. It's like it's cool to be unconscious. It's cool to be in outer space even though your body is right here. I mean, what's going on with that?
I mean, I think that like a lot of people in this day and age just like that feeling of just not being able to feel at all and just going through the motions. Like I'm like and I go through the same feeling, but the way I do it, I don't need like drugs, I don't need alcohol to do it. I just need my headphones, some music, and I'm going.
Your music is your drug.
Yeah,
so
music is my drug.
Yeah,
and I'm hooked.
Well, I'm glad that is what you have chosen because your music sounds cleaner too. Like I feel better whenever I'm listening to your music.
Thank you.
And we talked about this during the break. Sometimes you listen to a song, you're like, 2 minutes into the song, you're already bobbing your head before you realize that he ain't talking about anything. It's not a very positive message. But much like I think you can fill your body with junk food and all that other stuff, you can still function every day, but you're not going to feel as good than when you eat, healthy foods.
Exactly.
Simple as that. We're speaking with D-MUGGA, our musician of the week. Now, you did have a freestyle that you wanted to give us this evening. We're going to do this a cappella now. This is no music. No? Alright. That's asleep in the back. That's what it is. But, alright, so we're gonna hear this a cappella version of this freestyle. Do you have a name for this, or is this just...
This is actually the second verse of my song, Numb.
Okay, alright, so make sure you check it out, which are appropriately named here.
Yep.
Absolutely, so we're going to hear this freestyle from D-MUGGA. He's our musician of the week. Let's hear it.
Alright. Too much of my time was spent on trying to please people that didn't care about what I want or try to be equal. So when I put these headphones on, I just contemplate and meditate, trying to separate myself so I'll be heavyweight champ of the world. And I do it all for my girl and my fam and supporters and friends, cause I know they got me to the end of my life. And I'm trying to live right, but the demons and the seamen got me like, hold up, psych. Right my wrongs, I got no fear. Ain't no rain, my vision's clear. I see me rocking shows from here to Bel Air, from L.A. all the way to Maine. And if you don't like what I'm saying, then you can go away.
Oh, there it is. Nice. I like that. I like your flow, man. You come right to it. Yeah. You come right to it. And that is missing in the game. Don't hold nothing back in being yourself, man. I appreciate that. That was a hot verse.
Thank you.
And that's from Numb.
Yes.
And that is that on the 3 EP?
Yeah, it's on there.
So we can actually listen to the actual song version of that.
Oh yeah.
Right now.
Oh good.
Word. I mean, you can. Folks out there in the audience, we've heard it.
Oh yeah.
We got the inside scoop here.
Okay.
You all need to go check that out right now. You can get the 3. It's called 3, like the number 3.
Yeah, number 3.
EP. And it came out last Friday, so it's fresh. It's still hot. It's still... You can pick it up right now. iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, all that good stuff. Wherever you stream your music, you can get that as well. Pick up D-MUGGA's new stuff, man. Fantastic job. Thanks for coming down and sharing your music with us, man. I appreciate it. We got new stuff that's coming out, of course. Hit me up. Hit Mike Moore, the producer, who produces this segment every week. By the way, thank you so much, Mike Moore, the producer.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yeah, let him know, let us know, and we'll bring you back, man, because love to hear, love to see you continue to put out music. I want to hear what the next album is like, too, now.
Oh, yeah.
As well. Now that you got a saga going on, you got a story I'm interested in following.
Yep.
So, keep up the good work, definitely. Tell folks one more time how they can check out your stuff online if they're looking to reach you.
Yeah, you can reach me on Instagram and Twitter at D_Mugga215. That's D_MUGGA215. And y'all can find the 3 EP, everywhere, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Play, all that.
All right. Thanks again. That's D-MUGGA, our musician of the week. And if you missed any of that information, just hop on over to our social media spaces. We got all that stuff for you right there, and you can click the links from there. Thanks again, man. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Yes,
all right. And we're going to go out on Count Your Chips.
Yes.
We're going to re-listen to that on the way out from our musician of the week, D-MUGGA. Enjoy it. We'll be back on the other side with more of The Lounge. We'll take your phone calls. We'll talk more news and politics right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Alright, guys, so that was the interview. It's actually the next day. I was going to do my outro at the station, but I wasn't feeling good and I had to get back home. So, yeah, that was the interview. As y'all know, like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter at D_Mugga215. And, I'm going to try to get back to my Try to the Left challenges every Monday. And without further ado, peace.